adjacent from this window called reef balls. They are man-made and placed in the ocean to provide a home for the fish and coral where they may not have it otherwise. And you'll notice a little difference between the three. Nothing growing on the one on the left versus stuff growing on the one on the right. Just to show what it would look like over time if that were real. Now, the one on the right could easily be about 10 years worth of coral. And that's why we want to protect it, because it takes a very long time for it to grow back. And also, they estimate about 2 million species of animals live on coral reefs, where the reefs make up less than 1% of the ocean. So such a small area, relatively speaking, is such an important home for many different species of animals. Now, some of those animals I'll talk about, so you'll primarily see our schooling fish called grunts, which are pretty much everything right by the window here. They have teeth in their throat that'll make a grunting sound like a pig. Most notably are porkfish, and they're the yellow and silver ones with the black stripes through their face. And they'll make more of an oinking sound, kind of. Then we have our blue striped grunts, the blue and silver striped ones with the black tails. And then our French grunts, like that one almost right in the middle towards the left there, just a yellow and silver striped one there. Now, a different species of schooling fish we have in here is permit, which is our biggest fish right here. They're related to the other schooling fish I'll talk about. That is our largest fish. They'll get up to about 4 feet. And then that's related to the other schooling fish, that really thin silver one right in the middle there called a look down. Now, they've got a very steep head to make it look like they're looking down, so they were not really creative with that name. Now, we have two what I like to call cleaner fish in here, so they're very important for the health of the fish in the ocean. So fish can get sick by getting something like a parasite. Those fish will pick those off of them to help keep them clean and healthy. Now, the one we won't see in here is called the neon goby. It's our smallest fish. They're black with whatever neon color stripe they have through them. Ours are blue, but they're different. And they like to have the reef balls that are further back that way. About 2 inches full grown, so really small. The other one we might see, we might not, it's called the blue head wrasse. Blue head, couple stripes in between, and a green back. Does the same thing. Now, for the first reason our coral's not real is angelfish that we have in here. We have a few species of those, and they eat sponge in the ocean, but in home aquariums, they don't always get along with coral. They might eat it, and with it being a possibility, there's one, though there is a bigger reason I will talk about later. Now, that's up to them whether we see them or not, but we have our French and our gray angel, the first two I talk about. The French angel will be black with yellow spots. Gray angel is just a dark gray color. It'll be about the same shape and size as the French. Now, the French angel will have yellow spots as an adult, like ours, but as a juvenile or kid, it'll have yellow stripes instead. Largest one at about 2 feet. Now, a very popular favorite fish in here, again, I'll point out any of these when I actually see them. Our very popular favorite in here is our queen angel. It's the bright neon yellow and blue one, and on its head it has a blue spot. They call it a crown, so it gets its name from that. And then we have our smallest angelfish, which is called a rock beady. It's got the yellow front with the black back on it. When it's large enough, like ours is, they're only yellow when they're really small. Now they will get quite a bit larger than what we have in here as well, a little over a foot, so ours are still fairly small as well. And they have a bluish colored eye. And then we have two fish in here that are known for their defense, besides the stingrays, and for different reasons as well. Starting with, let's see if I can find one of them and actually point it out first. Cooperate with me. Anyways, there's a bluish-gray oval-shaped one in here called the surgeonfish or doctorfish, either name for it. It's a type of tang. Towards its tail, there's a dark blue spike called a scalpel, like a surgeon's tool. So it gets its name from that. That spike's their defense. So it's kind of like a typical weapon. Whereas the other one is much different. It's pictured right down there, the bottom right. Our four-eyed butterfly fish that doesn't actually have 4 eyes, only has 2. So black spot gives it its name. That's a fake eye, false eye, whatever you want to call it. And whatever wants to eat it thinks they can see from that. They can't. It tricks them to attack them from the front where their eyes are, so the fish will have a better chance to get away because they'll see it. So So, trick rather than a weapon. And then for the reason our coral's fake, is that red fish right with the red belly right at the bottom there. That is our parrotfish. It's called the stoplight parrotfish because of its colors. That's a female because of its red color, but the males are green. And parrotfish in general get their name from their more beak-like shaped mouth. Bird. And this one gets 2 to 3 feet. And what they do is, they're the reason our coral's fake. So what they do with that beak is they'll eat algae off of coral, but the beak will chew up some of the coral with it too. So they essentially eat coral, they'll digest it and get rid of it later as sand. So that's where sand comes from. And full-grown parrotfish, any species, not just this species here, can make up to about 800 pounds of sand per year each, and that's why the coral's fake. Oh, and by the way, there's the queen angel right up at the top. And then we have 2 species of stingrays in here. We have our southern stingray, which is the round gray one on the bottom. And it lives on the bottom, and you can tell because of that round flat shape. That one gets to be about 6 feet wide, 9 feet long, full grown. And then the ones that, for anyone who's here at the beginning, saw me feed that one stingray when it came up is our cow-nosed ray. We have 2 of those. Now their head's shaped like a cow's nose. Whoever named them said that anyways. And they get about a 3.5-foot wingspan. Now, they've got that wing-shaped body rather than the round flat one, and that's how you tell they live from the middle to the surface. But they still eat off the bottom. They're the same food as the ones that actually live there. Fish, shrimp, and clams as an example. And that's a very large schooling stingray that if you're lucky you can see up to about 10,000 at a time. Though you'll normally see 1 or 200. But they're very social and very friendly. But otherwise, that's it for this presentation. If anyone has any questions, of course, please feel free to ask. Is there a blue ticket before I attempt to feed these guys? Alright, so what I'm going to do then is try to feed them in front of this window here and see what happens if they come up. But until then, you'll see my hand get bit off by the porkfish because they tend to be mean. They actually didn't bite me on that one, I'm surprised. They're just, okay, now they're biting me.